live today. See what we got. See what we gonna do. See what we working on. See how everybody's doing today. Just coming on in here. Pick on, see what folks is doing. See what we got real quick. Let's see what I got. See if anybody comes through. Just talking about this NBA thing today. Welcome to Around the World, wherever you are. Hope that you are doing good today. Hope everything is cool. And we're live. We are live. You know, we are live. You know, hope everybody's having a good day. Um, you know, what's up? Who is this? What's up? I can't make out that writing, but anyway, what's up? See what we got so far. Whoever's taking the poll, thank you for taking the poll question. Now, the plan is to be on here for at least an hour if I get enough interest. Um, if I do, we shall see. What's up? What's the question? What's happening? I am live in color, just trying to see if anybody wants to do some conversating. So just gonna do a conversation, see what we got. Just coming on board. So feel free to tell me where you're coming from, where you at, and let's talk. Yeah, I do sometimes. Not often though. What makes you ask? That's an interesting question because I haven't been asked about drawing in years. Way back. Way back. It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a long time. What about yourself? Doesn't happen too often. I don't draw like that. It's it's one of them things that you'd have to come and see me online more often, and I'd have to like sketch out something. Well, no, 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 no. I don't no, no. This here is for grown folks. So I don't really do them like that. So I don't do that. So gotta take you out. Okay, what's happening? What's going on? How you doing? I prefer grown people come through here, just so you know. Yeah. Please be an adult. Please be an adult. Please be of adult age. Anyway, tell me if anybody's coming through. Let me know what's up. It's pretty quiet over here today. I'm gonna be on. We're gonna see how long the kind of news I get. Mm. Trying to think. Trying to put stuff in perspective. Let's see. What's happening? How you doing? Okay. Mhm. I said hello to you already. Where are you coming from? Alexander. The name sounds very familiar. Polycott. Alexander Collicott. That's a distinctive name. So where are you coming from though? Okay, Australia. Okay. Still warm there, by the way. That's one of them places that it stays pretty warm right by now. Pretty warm. It's a good place to be. If it's nice and warm, let me know. Give me a cough drop. Okay, well, thank you for coming through. I'm gonna have to organize the live stream so when people know to come through. And hopefully we get good conversation. Let me know. Please hit like, subscribe, come on through. If anybody's around, let me know. 80% so far said they're looking forward to NBA All-Star Gaming weekend. So that's cool. I thought you had left. And you got a different name. Hmm. Footballer. Interesting. 67% saying yes. Well, if we take this poll long enough, I'm sure that poll will go up and down. Everybody out here, let me know. If you want to converse, let's talk about what's going on. NBA All Star Weekend. The All Star game is pretty simple. If in America, like if you pick the best, well, the names, I'm not going to always say the best. They pick players and choose squads. This new one is stupid. We missed the old way. They're messing up the game. They're always trying to like add this, add that. They don't need to do all that. Probably the late 80s, to be honest with you. I stopped caring about the NBA All Star game probably at the end of the 90s. And I haven't really liked one in years. Okay, I don't know. Well, it's just because it's become like an exhibition. It hasn't even really been like a competitive game. It's been years since they really put some soul into it. It's been kind of like generic. Yes, I am. And what a way to introduce yourself. I think I got a troll. Mhm. I don't want to do no trolls. So if you're not gonna have a real conversation, well, if you look on the screen, I'm obviously a man. See, celebrity all star games are cool. Like when people you don't know play ball, that's cool. But this thing with the NBA All Star game is basically what you do about nothing. So When you say football, you talking about American football or you talking about football overseas? You got to clarify. Or what you call football or soccer. And I like all of it because I respect the talent of all of it. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's physical. I mean, I respect all sports. I may have a preference for certain things, but I respect all sports because they all require athleticism and you have to have knowledge and stamina and strength. And, you know. Okay, I'm not going to keep this on because I don't like this conversation. So you got to go. In America, it's the Buffalo Bills. I disagree. If you've been watching the NBA, they have nothing but predominantly overseas players that are running the league. Nikola Djokovic is arguably the best player in the NBA. Shane Cress Alexander is from Canada, MVP this year. I said in America, it's the Buffalo Bills. I don't really have a soccer team that I really go crazy, but I respect England. I respect Italy. I respect Spain, Argentina, you know. So if you're not looking at my site, then what are you doing here on this podcast if you don't know who I am? Sounds like you trolling. I do hope that you are on the right site where you're supposed to be on. That's what I don't like about when people come and troll, because at least know where you are. Don't jump on a site you're not looking at the person's name. That's an insult. And I pretty much have had other videos, so feel free, but please know where you are though. And when I mentioned the NBA All Star game, I'm also talking about America. So yeah, I'm a YouTube content creator, and what we do is we introduce ourselves. We do things for conversation. We have a Q&A, and we get to know people, and then they decide if you like the channel, if you don't. But I'm not, we're not interrogating nobody. That's all. Hmm. So, that's all I'm gonna say with that. Hmm. Probably. I was, to be honest with you, I was kind of like flirting with it 2018, 2019, but I didn't really get myself into gear till about 2020. Like I did videos, but 2022, 2023 is when it really started to take off. So, you know, and there's a lot of different nuances. So that's the best way I would describe it. I was kind of at it. I got old videos, but the thing that really started to roll, I had some big videos and then it was kind of hit and miss. And then it started to roll the last 2.5 years. And I like to think I'm pretty good at it because I've done pretty good for myself. and I can only get better. So I've watched a lot of different content creators, been inspired by different walks of life of content creators. And it's a lot of work, but it's good work. It's a good challenge though. What you mean, yeah, you have? I don't understand what yeah, you have means. Well, thank you. It takes a lot of work. I would tell anybody who does it, you gotta really be willing, the highs, the lows, the in betweens, people downplaying you, people thinking that it's just you're just wasting your time or joke, because it takes a lot of work. And if you're not an outside extremist, if you're not a extrovert, or if you're not one of those kind of people, this can be really like your only form of socialization. So it can really be work. What happened was I watched some videos, and I tend to do more stuff on the entertainment tip. So I didn't like journalism. I don't like what I see on American TV what goes for journalism. That's the thing. Or all these heads on sticks tend to sound like robots and troll. They say the same thing. They're bought and paid and they have no personality. So I thought, hey, I'd like to speak from the heart, speak for what I think. That's what inspired me. That's a great question too. Because they just and sometimes being black, you don't have voices that speak up to what you want to be heard, especially in mainstream with all the stuff that goes on. So that's another thing too, because it's really one sided. So there's a lot of layers to what got me inspired, and I think one thing I love about social content create, you can speak, within reason. They do have censors and they have things they won't let you say and all that, and we know that because it's changed quite considerably the way it once was. You know. Because it's not even about if you are uh, vulgarian or not. They just have certain content they won't let you go through. So it's just, So, but it was inspiring to get my point of view. Well, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. That's probably one of the best compliments I've gotten in recent memory. And I hope that you come back again. Appreciate you and thank you. I'm always feeling lifted when I get told that. So, 'cause believe me, I put a lot of work into it. It has its challenges and there's some fun to it, but there's work, make no mistake about it. So, all right, take it easy now. Appreciate you. Oh yeah, and if you get a chance, please hit that subscribe too. I welcome anybody coming through. All right. All right. We had one good one so far today. Thank you. So 757% saying, okay. It's starting to tighten up with All Star Weekend. I'd imagine it would. Imagine it would. All right now. I'll be on for at least we'll see how many people come through for conversation. So mm. So we shall see what comes through. Appreciate the ones that are coming through though today that we will stand by. I will be on for a little while. Mm. All right, please continue. Hit like, subscribe. Everybody want to come through, feel free. I will see how long people come on. I will wait. Obviously, we had interesting conversation to say the least. So feel free to come through if you choose to, and we're gonna go from there. Mm. Okay. See what I got so far. Any tips if someone starts what after 18? What are you trying to start? And welcome aboard. What does it mean? Any tips if you start after 18? I need to know what that means. What's up, Will? Thank you for coming through. I need some conversation, so let's get cracking. We can talk. There's a lot to talk about in your world because the Sixers and the Cowboys are all over the pages. Oh boy. Between Michael Parsons and Paul George. Oh boy. Podcast giants. Man, your favorite football player, your team both got podcast giants. They don't do much on the field, but they sure got a commentary. How did you luck out with that? How did you luck out with Paul George and Michael Parsons, podcast giants? You need to study, unless of course you and or that's all they do right now is podcasting. Um, if I wasn't cool with tests, I really tried to concentrate on things that I think I wanted to remember. So there's different ways to approach memory. I did it in ways where I would kind of compartmentalize things. So, you know, but it was strategic. It was very strategic. That's how I did it. Other than that, that's the only thing I can tell you. Well, Michael's doing it because the Cowboys suck. That's why. Well, you got to find some way to learning is fun. So you have to figure out a way to manipulate it. So maybe like a podcast, or maybe like you do it in increments, like you listen to it with music. You try to do it in a way to manipulate it when you're thinking about it. There's ways to make it work. I don't know if he's the perfect one. He's humble. And you play for New York Giants, you get humble too. Got a coach that don't know what he's doing, a general manager don't know what he's doing, a quarterback that sucks and they're dumb, and the owner just spends money and people dissing them left and right. And they get lucky and fluky every 10, 12 years. They go through this phase where they stink. Oh, he's a great player. I mean, he's a great talent. But what happened was he came to a situation where that was a no-brainer. That was a dub. He still should have broken the record, though. I don't care what nobody says. That's an insult. He would have had the ultimate season. Well, on the field, But remember, he didn't have a lot of stellar. He was very talented. This was just like stellar. This was MVP worthy. To me, he was the best player I seen. No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna be a threat. I don't know if they can go back to back. I don't know. Learn to love yourself first. That's how I would always say pursuing a relationship. If you can tolerate yourself, then you can work with someone. And the advice with that is making sure that you are on the same path. Start off with a good friendship. If I go Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, Josh. Yeah, 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 yeah. About probably be like the fifth best though. But yeah, But the thing about him is that you don't because he doesn't bedazzle you with his numbers. He beats you in different ways, and so it's like a guy that's a little bit of here and a little bit of there. That's why it's not so, you know. And I can understand why people kind of forget about him because he doesn't give you that kind of ooh ah like Kyler Murray can at times. He doesn't hit you with that Matthew Stafford like that deep bomb threat like that with like that kind of thing, you know. So there's ways the reason why people forget about him. I think a lot of them, you know. I've always liked Jalen. I think he was one of the most disrespected quarterbacks I've seen easily. But they ain't disrespected now. And plus the cat's been to two Super Bowls in the last 3 years. So yeah. So yeah. If we go by totality, only Mahomes is ahead of him. Philadelphia's defense came up huge. And I said the Rams were gonna be a problem in the playoffs. But the Rams always did one thing off this year, and it was noticeable. That's how it usually is. That's how the luck of the draw is. That's why Giannis won the title. Remember, Kevin Durant's toe on the line. That's how small the game is. It's always one play, one thing, the difference between, your win and your defeat. And it rolled like that sometimes. But you got to think you're going to win. I don't know if the Rams, they knew they could hang with them. I don't know if they thought they could win, though. You know. So, but the Rams got to do a better job of playing more. That's the reason how their season started against Detroit, the things they went through, you know. So they have to play with more consistency because they're good enough to come out, but they're also good enough to get sent home. And they just kind of like you know. Mm. Yeah, keep on hitting like, subscribe. Yeah, so that's how it goes. Sports is like that, though. We talk about it all the time. You can always have one play that can dictate your fate. Hard question, but what Panthers team do you think was better? That's not an odd question, but it's a good question. Um, the one that was in 2003 kind of snuck up, but I think the home had an out of body experience because he wasn't the quarterback that Cam was, but they were more together. I think the Cam one, they got on a hot streak and they played really good football. But I think it more to do with Cam. I don't think, excuse me. I think it was more to do with Cam. I think Cam played out of his mind. I think Dale Holmes' team actually had, because if you think about it, John Casey don't kick that shank that a kickoff. They were in the game. And I go by that in my argument because they had a chance to win that Super Bowl. Cam had no chance against Von Miller, and they were outmanned in that Super Bowl physicality. So um, I have to say '03. That's a great question because you would think a 15-1 team, league MVP, and Cam was a three times better quarterback than De La Holmes. But De La Holmes got the job done. De La Holmes fit better. Cam was a better talent, but De La Holmes fit better. That's a great question, though. Thank you. That's a real good question. I've never been asked that one before, which just goes to show you that records can be very misleading or misconstrued because you would think psychologically that that's what that would be, and then you would be wrong. Yeah, because they had a better receiving core. Um, they spanked Arizona in the NFC Championship game with Cam, but they got a Super Bowl against Denver. They got manhandled. Dylan Home didn't get manhandled by Brady. Now that was a close game. That was a pretty close game. So, and you can't tell me that uh, Von Miller was an incredible defensive player, but you can't tell me that Denver had that much of a better defense than that New England team. But Von Miller was running havoc on team. So I thought 2003. If KC doesn't kick that kickoff out of bounds, that game goes to overtime. Does Brady come out of there? Does he have the Brady magic? Think about it. So that's all I gotta say about that. Yeah. I hadn't thought about it, but if I had to say it was more complete, I'd say that. And again, that's how I just say about a team that was 16-1 and you go, but all right. Please continue to hit the like and hit the subscribe and also take the poll question and let's see what we got. Get this cough drop. Gil was on this podcast going on Richardson Barbosa. So To answer your question, long story short, Gilbert Arenas is basically a broke version of Kanye West. And that's all he's got going for him. Now, ask me who had the better career, Kanye and a blowout. Gilbert was good. Kanye was treated better, more known. But same debris. Um, Nas's wife was strange to the whole thing. The way it was told to me, she couldn't leave Phoenix or something. He had some kind of something went down. So um he was involved with something. I don't know what all went down, but it was crazy. It was when he went to the Lakers. She was forbidden to leave. She was forbidden to leave state of Arizona. It was some craziness going on, but I don't know about all that. What's up, T Dub? They don't want to pay him that money. They probably think they can get a quarterback that can do the same things. Because he didn't end this season, didn't end well. He looked very Sam Darnoldish the last 2 or 3 weeks, and that's why. Now, he didn't look like he reverted to his old ways. They would have. The Lakers suck. You ain't got no inside. You ain't got no booty in the glass. You ain't got no booty in the glass. You're gonna get exposed. See, let me tell you something. What made that so bad is that you blew them busters out by like 30, and you turn around and get blowed out. But what is so bad is that Utah are they really as bad as 13-41? I'll say this: 55 games. I like to think they 20-35. I can't believe they're that bad. They bad though. They suck. But y'all had them looking like Malone and Stockton were back out there, hanging all on the rim on you, driving. And you're gonna have problem. And this a couple of things. Luca's trajectory, him and LeBron are gonna have a conflict because they pretty much trying to dictate the perimeter. Somebody got to put some wood. That's where you're gonna miss Anthony Davis. And your bench gonna take a hit. And you brought back you brought back Connect. Connect looking like that cat looked like he didn't seen a horror show. Cause he's like, I gotta go back to that. Y'all traded him. Good luck with that. If any of LeBron or Luca get hurt, you messed up. You're done. It's not gonna be what people think, and it's not meant to be this year, and not next year. Yeah, because you're starting to see that it ain't gonna. Cause see the problem with Luca, he don't play defense. He like to throw those nice, cute passes and set you up. But the problem is he gets burned on the other side. LeBron is 40. He likes to, top the key rotate. LeBron is 40. Think you're gonna get him at the problem that y'all gonna run into? Austin Reeves got score. Y'all gotta have three guys score 25, 30 a night. If you don't, you're gonna get smoked. And also your bench. Yeah, you ain't got that now. See? Because you don't have a legit third piece. Austin Reeves is a nice story. He ain't the third piece. When teams get look at Denver right now. And you better hope Michael Porter Jr. don't go off. Because the white is white ball from the league. That's why. But anyway, he can still be big now. And he can actually shoot a three ball right now, but they're not bringing him back. Yeah, y'all gonna flirt and look like a kind of legit team. You're not beating OKC. You're not gonna beat Denver. You'll beat Minnesota. And I know that's one that's coming in a couple of years. You heard it here first if you ain't heard it nowhere else. You know what's coming. You know what's coming. I can see it. It's just a matter of can they pull it off and who can they pull it off with. When you ask me who's coming, I'll tell you what the answer. That's why I know if you're paying me attention. Because I'll tell you who's going to the Lakers. Hmm. I can see it. Anthony Edwards. Mark my words. See, no, Anthony Edwards. And it won't be for about another year or two. It's going to LeBron. I'm telling you what I see. That's a big in itself because you're going with your big and your small. They got to give Luca someone to play with. No, they ain't going to get rid of Luca. But when LeBron is gone and some of these other pieces are gone, you know free agency going to come up. Ants getting frustrated with Rudy Gobert. They look bad. That cat is exciting, but guess what? There is no fanfare in Minnesota. Because unless you Prince, that's the only thing that they get excited about when come out of Minnesota. Kevin Garnett found out the hard way. Why you think he went to Boston? I'm just gonna keep it 100. That's who I see going to La La Land to team up with Luca. You know you need a 1-2 punch. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If LeBron wasn't holding up the money and he wanted out, they make a move. You really think that Rob Pelinka ain't through dealing? Oh, he's got another big one up. And Ant looks like the one. Look around the league. Start those motion. Um, can't do nothing with this. I don't make no trolls. But anyway, Ant is the guy that comes to mind. He younger. Well, let me throw this at you, Jay Will. You get a choice between Ant, Jalen Brown, Trey Young. You know, it's gonna be somebody like that. And I will throw a wild card at you too. I'll throw another wild card at you. There is another big name that could potentially be available if things stay the way they are. You ready for who else you might end up getting? Because I'm watching this thing play out and ready? Tell me when you're ready. I'll let you. I'm waiting for you to tell me when you're ready, and I'll tell you who it is. Giannis. And you look at the Bucks, and Dame don't deliver, and Doc Rivers, and they stuck with Kuzma. He gonna make a move. He gonna make a move. It could be another Kareem situation from Milwaukee to the Lakers. That's what I see on the cards. I think they got something plotting, planning with the Lakers. They just waiting to get LeBron up out of there. Because the joke is, listen, I'm gonna say this: is he the best player in the NBA? Yes, but his team is not the best team. He's not dominant. Oh, ain't no could be. It's gonna be because if Milwaukee stinks this. First of all, no one sees Milwaukee come out the East. They're not considered the first, second, or third option. Next of all, Doc Rivers' track record. Third of all, Damian Lillard's track record. Fourth of all, they don't really have a decent bench. I'm seeing a move. So I think that'll happen a lot sooner than you think. If he forces the hand, that's what would happen. Because he can't win in the East. That ship didn't sail. Think about it. I don't want no vulgarity on here. So Jokic fans say without Jokic. I disagree. Jamal Murray ain't no scrub. Michael Porter ain't no scrub. He makes them a contender. But then again, let me ask you this. Is he great? Yes. But is he dominant great? No. This is what Jokic fans who'll never debate me about compared to Shaquille O'Neal and greats of the game who dominated but won, not just Staten. What he does, he has to do a lot for his team. He's actually doing more than he's doing what LeBron should be doing because he actually does it. But is his team better? They suck on defense. Their transition is bad. Their bench is not that good. They miss Bruce Bowen, not Bruce Bowen, but Brown. Brown. They messed up by not retaining what they had, and they have a problem with a team like Minnesota. They get caught dancing against the Timberwolves. So no. And where would he go where he would dominate? You know, if we gonna talk individual play, he's probably the best going. Yeah, he's the best going today individual play. But we're talking about with the team involved. He can't get them cats up. So no, I don't agree with that. But he would be in second this year. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. SGA should have probably won it last year. You know, Quiet is kept. How about if you take Shaq out on? No, I like Jokic, but he ain't Shaquille O'Neal. Just see, this is what you gonna fail to realize. Shaq won. You're looking at a guy who throws great stats, which is incredible. And don't get it twisted. Jokic against Shaq would have been entertaining. But again, it depends on who team he's playing for. If you put Jokic with that Sacramento Kings team, they're gonna win. One of those years they'll win. You put him with the Spurs, as it was posed to David Robinson with Tim Duncan, that would have probably beaten the Lakers during that run because David Robinson wasn't dominating like that. And if you put him with the Sixers with Iverson, I don't think they win, but it goes 7 games. Depends on what team he's with and what the circumstances. But the thing about with Shaq's situation is that Kobe was still a puppy. He was coming on and he got better over time. But Rick Fox was a defensive dude. You know, Brian Shaw, Derek Fisher. But his dominance was so no. I hope nobody's going to sit there and say that because if they're going to sit there and say, see, this is when people get caught trying to play yesteryear and today. And I like Jokic a lot. I like him a lot, but he ain't no Shaq. But it's a great question you ask because if somebody wants to ask that question, I'm going to deal with that question. I'm going to deal with that question because that's a great question there. But the reality is, he ain't no Shaq. Had to go get this thing real quick. That's a great question, though. He ain't no Shaq, though. They want to act like because he's playing great. He's a great player, and I like him. I like him a whole lot because I think Jokic is a very, you know, unique player. But when you start talking about what Shaquille O'Neal did, take Ben Wallace. I'm gonna do a videos about this, Jay. Well, you're inspiring me. Um, Jokers with Pistons. I'll say this: they win. They win because he needed to have, but he wins. But does he win multiple rings? Um, I don't think he wins multiple rings though, and I tell you why. Because I don't know how he would have done against Tim Duncan and the Spurs. See, and Ben Wallace was a great fit there. And Ben Wallace played better defense than Jokic. That's a great question that you asked. You're asking me from the offensive aesthetics, which I understand. I get it. That's how everybody thinks because he scores a lot. He's a triple double machine. How would he fare if we could do time machine? I get it. I get it. But the problem is that he doesn't dominate now. Um, if he's got problems with Rudy, go with Minnesota. They needed more of a perimeter. They needed more of a third of a three. See, if they had a draft of Dwayne Wade or Carmelo, that's when that would have been dangerous. And then you rotate probably Richard Hamilton or you rotate Tayshaun Prince. That's what you do. You get a scorer up front. That's what you do. But I can't say Jokers would have. Can't say that because Larry Brown would not sit there and let him shoot them threes. Phil Jackson wouldn't do it either. Mm-mm. But you gave me some good ideas. I'm gonna do some videos on this though. Ben's gonna say that because Melo's more offensive geared. Billups will like it because he'd be a good fit on the perimeter, which he would have been. And that means Ben Wallace would have had to get his rhyming on where he'd have had to score more. And see the way he had it with the old way, he could set he could kind of run and duck and not necessarily have to be an offensive threat. Of course, a guy's offensive mind is gonna want Melo. Melo made the game easy because he could score. He'll set shot. I'm not surprised to hear that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And I get it. And I can see why both sides feel that way. Plus, Melo wasn't gonna pass the rock to Ben no way. And he was a different style. He was a different style. So that's how I look at it. Yeah, yeah. You can call me wrong, but I'm looking at from what their skill side. Ben wouldn't like it. Yeah, Ben was a guy that averaged like 10 to 12 points a game. He liked Melo. But Melo was like a defensive liability to him. And Tayshaun was perfect for him. But it all depends how you look at it. But some good questions that you put there. I'm definitely make some videos off of that. Definitely. Asking me which team does he fit better without that Lakers run or that Pistons run with Ben Wallace. That's what it's gonna come down to. Um, he benefit better with the Pistons. Phil wouldn't have nobody shooting no threes as a center. Um, he'd have had to post more. Kobe would be obviously a better, his Jamal Murray, but have to be a lot more strategic. So mm, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question though. All right, now keep on hitting those likes up and things. Having a good conversation today. This is going exactly what I like. Got a lot of votes up, conversations up. Do you see LeBron Luka playing too much? I want you. You need to watch basketball like Kenny was. Yeah, and the problem with that is that it's selling the marketing of them, but it's not selling them as actually in the game. It's a lot of hype. What people are getting excited about is the passing of the torch and the name brand. It's name brand basketball, but that's not winning basketball. Oh, don't get it twisted. Like KD and Russ, they might could get to Western Conference Finals, but like KD and Russ, they're not going to have the kind of success people think because they're too much of the same. They're too much in demand, and it's too much. Somebody's got to defer, and LeBron is not going to defer at this stage. But the problem is, they're gonna have to defer because they don't play no defense. They're too high in the perimeter and late in the box. So something's got to give, and they have to have. What happened the other night. That gonna happen again because teams that have high IQs can pinpoint the weakness in the glass. They're gonna expose them. You know. Luka's a good fit if only if LeBron is willing to defer, but he's not going to defer. And he needs to be the third best player and look like the second best, not be, so I disagree with that. Because Akeem must have forgot about Michael Jordan. Must have forgot about Kobe. Must have kind of forgot about Karl Malone. Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, who had the most unstoppable shot that still the standard with the skyhook. KD don't have no skyhook. Yeah. What he's accomplished is a great feat. Don't get it twisted. But the most unstoppable score, no. He has ways that he gets around the floor, I'll give him. And I think the ability to go left, right, and go round, he can score. But to say the most unstoppable score means he dominates games and dominates. He doesn't do that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. He was in that zone with Golden State against LeBron and Cleveland. I'll give you that. Had he played like that the majority of his career, and also where he was competing for championships and stuff, I'll give you that. Yeah, so I did a video yesterday. Gary Payton said in they primed that he could stop KD, and I laughed. I laughed. I'm like, man, please. I know how tough he is. He's not the best ball handler. He's a good ball handler. He's not great. Couldn't dribble like KD, but he sure could put fear in you. And off that back foot, I think he was just as fearful, if not more so than KD. I don't think there's a lot that's separating them apart. I think KD got a better overall game repertoire, but Dirk was more scary as far as leading his team. And so once you add up the totalities, that's a part of it too. That's what made Dirk special. Because if KD played like Dirk did and could take anybody with him, then LeBron and him would really be neck and neck when you could take anybody and play along with you. And that's why he's not amongst the top 10, 12, 13, 14, 50 greatest players ever. That's one of the not criteria I got against him. Because if he had what Dirk had, And think about it, he's had situations that where Dirk's had, and he don't do it. He was his best with Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond. He was at his best. He had no pressure. He was like sitting in the house with air conditioner, with the right carpet, the right drink, the right couch. Yeah, I'll give you that. And he could have been even more than that. I'd say more so in 2017. 2018, that was pretty close because Steph did nearly average triple double in that finals. And they were geared towards Steph. Steph still commanded more respect. See, there's a difference when you say the best player and the guy that you fear. They feared Steph. There's the difference. Saying the guy's the best player and the guy that you fear is two different things. But KD was in the catbird seat because all he had to do was just hit shots and be smooth with it. He had the easiest job in the building besides the cameraman. And they gave him the right box to work with. So, but we don't have those conversations no more about him because that's long gone now. You know, it's great to go have that memory lane about him because there was a time, and I still think when he played with Golden State, him and Steph could have been a tag team that could have been top five ever had that kept on going. And he fit that rhythm perfect. That's what the people who be hating, who diss him, don't want to tell the truth. He fit like a glove with Steph. I mean, he fit like a glove. More so than Clave in some way. And he's plus Splash Brothers, but with KD, they were unfadable. Only injuries got in the way. So that's how I look at it. It's a great question, though. And I like KD. I think he's a very polarizing cat, though. He lives for that, though. Sometimes he like to be more deeper than he likes to be. But yeah, he was something else back then. But that's a long time ago now. And Steph then left him in the dust. Uh, He might have more talent, but what hurt him was getting to the point where he wanted to lead a team. I don't use his injuries against him. I don't use teammates against him. I think my problem with him is that he just didn't spark it up enough. And yet, a lot of people would love to have his career on. All right, now, see what we got. Please continue to hit them likes. Welcome people coming in. Got any comments you want to say? Come on through. Welcome thoughts and comments. No, no. The Rockets are going through some kind they're going through that brick. Udoka got to get them tight. They got exposed. They're a young team. They're about a year or two away, and they need somebody with some seasoning. Then Udoka got something to worry about. The Bucks don't play no defense, and they got exposed, and they're fraudulent. And Giannis will be on his way out, though. And no, Jimmy Butler is playing good because he has to be a couple reasons. A, he got to be on his best behavior because this is it. Ain't nobody gonna go spend a chunk on a 36, 37-year-old cat that's a sidekick at this stage, who was never really an alpha, but really all the issues and then her injuries and the mindset. This is it. So he's in the right best situation he could be in. He got to be good. But no, they're not a threat. Don't play no defense. And the whole league caught up to what Steph was doing. Can they win maybe a round? Yeah. But now, if anybody could do it, Steph's got one more run in him. I do think he got one more run in him. But I think they need another piece, though. They need a piece on the start. They need a pinch off the bench. Top five. Top five. And that would be way more impressive than anything LeBron James ever did. Ever. As if it isn't already. Because think about it. He done won with Clay. He done won with Durant. He won with Andrew Wiggins. You talk about who makes your teammate better. That's why Steph Curry is the best player of the last decade. I know who's more decorated and gets all the stats and all the acclaim, but who was actually the best player is the one who makes his teammates better. Steph Curry never gets that. What is FW? What's oh, it makes no difference because it's Steph. It's Steph's world. Because without Steph, Butler's suspended, hanging out in Cancun after his season's over at South Beach. So he played with a situation that could only enhance him. That's what that means. Makes no difference. You play along with a guy who understands how to be the ultimate teammate, complement to what you do. That makes everybody look good. And it's the narrative. Everybody play with Steph. Things usually go right. So it wouldn't make no difference. Steph got his MVP already, Finals MVP, so he ain't got nothing to prove. Now he does go out and does anything else, it's just gravy. But if he wants another ring with his impact, he's top five ever. Well, what you mean all world defender? That ain't happened in about 10 years. What you talking about? The defense ain't been that deep in a decade. But yeah, that would be a heck of a statement for Curry to win with him. Because then it's like you can put anybody with him. Well, almost. But they going Jimmy Butler's gonna be a great pickup though. I don't know what this means. When you come up here talking about don't cry, you better have something that you're talking about. Try again. Try again. If you're trolling, don't waste your time because I don't do trolls. We got 13 on here so far. Mm, mm, okay. I was just rubbing my eyes because I had some in my eyes and I'm in the light. That's all that was. There wasn't nothing to it. I was out earlier today and it was a windy, cold, and I just got comfortable and I rubbed my eyes. But anyway, if you want to talk about something, let's do it. So, it's not that deep. As you can tell by the poll question, a lot of people have been giving commentary. And if you want to take part in it, feel free. That way I know you're not trolling. Come on, Jay Will, with your delusional self about LeBron being our world. Oh boy, you're a Cowboys fan. So is Jay Will. Oh boy, it's gonna be a long year for y'all. Michael Parsons can't stand your quarterback. Dak Prescott talk crazy. Yeah, I did a video about that. I did a video. Too Raw for Sports also linked my video up in his community page. I did a video about that yesterday. Next year, what? You've been saying that for like 30 years. Next year, what? Now with no Dak Prescott. Now, if you Dak Prescott, you got to feel like garbage. Jaden Daniels comes along. He done won as many postseason games in one season as you. Jalen Hurts been to many Super Bowls as you won playoff games. So I don't know about all that. A lot of people wish they could. Because the truth is, he is hurting, holding you back. He really is. I mean, look at the people he gets to head coach the team. Those guys we're going to be lucky to be 10-7. That's what it says to me. So I'm from upstate Buffalo originally. I'm a Bills fan, but that was not surprising how they season ended. Um, the Cowboys got to get a running game, got to get a compliment to CeeDee Lamb, got some work on the offensive line, need more defensive pressures. They just need a lot of work. Nobody cares because you don't have no teams unless you're a Buffalo Bills fan in New York State. You ain't nothing to cheer about. The Jets and the Giants stink. It feels like it has. Who you asking is their Ted? Yeah, you feel like the NFL is rigged. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. The Super Bowl, I did a video. If y'all watch my videos, I said Philadelphia's favorite, and I said Kansas City would be the upset because Philadelphia had everything on the line, and I thought Saquon Barkley, they had the best defense I saw all year. Saquon was the MVP for me. Because Patrick Mahomes aside, Philadelphia would run roughshod over Kansas City, which that's just a fact. The betting in Vegas, the Chris Rock billboard ads, yes. Yeah, and I do believe there's fixes goes on. I do. Because they like big markets. They find a way to manipulate. That's why I hope OKC and the NBA goes to the finals. I'd like to see them go against Cleveland, but we know they don't want that. They want them against Boston or Denver, Boston, or something. They're gonna want a big to mark. They're gonna want marketing. If it wasn't about marketing and pushing agendas, Luca doesn't go to the Lakers. Top three, two, two. I think I still have him over Montana and right behind Brady. But he's in that argument with those guys. Come on now. 7 straight AFC championship games start your career. 3-time Super Bowl champion, 5 Super Bowls, 5 AFC championships, 2-time league MVP. Stats. Come on now. I saw something about it. I saw something about it. I think Mahomes is first ballot Hall of Famer, all that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course it's Super Bowl. So Peyton Manning underachieved in the Super Bowls. He never had a memorable Super Bowl. And he had a worse loss than Mahomes. The guy beat his bad. For all them MVPs he got, he was a regular season quarterback. As far as Elway, loved Elway, but Terrell Davis. When Mahomes gets a Terrell Davis or Edrin James, let me know. Let me know when Mahomes gets Shannon Sharp, Prime and Peak, Rod Smith, and McConkey. I mean McCaffrey. Let me know when Patrick Mahomes gets Marvin Harris and Reggie Wayne. Make sure you let me know. You see where I can go with this? Yes, it's Mahomes. Come on now, it's not even close. And I know with the romanticism with Mahomes. I remember about Peyton Manning, and he was great. And listen, if we just play regular season quarterback, yeah, but we don't. And Elway, so they got TD, so they got bounced on. I know he didn't jump on that ball. He made a settlement with his, that was his bank account. You didn't want to get smashed up. That's not why they lost that game, though. Denver's defense was just too much for him. And his first few years in the NFL, he never got no calls though. He used to get hit in the head all the time. They didn't treat him like no MVP. So, but anyway, that's why I tap Mahomes. I mean, that's a no brainer for me. I may not be the biggest Peyton Manning fan, but I know how talented he was. But Mahomes is next level though. Greatest NFL player in the ring. Well, don't forget about OJ Simpson because OJ belongs on that list. But if we're talking, yeah, then he's one of those 10 greatest that didn't win it. Of that list, Marino was buried. He did. Out of those three, I'd have to say by a slim margin, I'd say Randy Moss. Slim margin. Because Marino is one of the greatest quarterbacks, and Barry is one of the greatest backs. But at overall talent and the whole nine, Moss. Yeah, Peyton could, except when he went against the Patriots. When they put that bump on him and they started holding him. So mhm, he dropped real quick. I like Barry Sanders a lot, but I can't say that he was better at his position than Moss was. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Mm, because he was pre OJ. In fact, everything that Barry did, OJ had already done. You don't know how bad OJ Simpson was. That was a tough era. Barry had a tough era, but OJ had a tough era. The electric company was bad, but you weren't getting a lot of opportunity back in the 70s when OJ was. I mean, it was Pittsburgh dominated, Miami, the Raiders. It was, you know, and they still have respect for him. It was it was one of a kind. They were. Um Sears was an all around player. He played all around. Jim Brown was rough, incredible, one of a kind. Was all part of my top five, by the way. OJ, Barry, Gail, Walter Payton. Yep. Because Marino had a quick release. He light your behind up. He just never had a running game. They had no running game and their defense was hit and miss. But as far as his game, Joe Montana even tell you how bad Marino was. Marino was a beast. Well, it's different in football. It's not the same. Again, it's not like the NBA. And Marino was that good. I can say it now because when he played for Miami, I was like, "Oh, those are some pins and needles," because that dude could go off. Probably win 4 or 5 rings, but you're going on talent. Asking me on who fits better, Aikman probably fits better. Asking me on talent, it's Marino. Oh yeah, because Aikman fit good with them, but Marino was a better talent. I see what you did, but yeah. And then Marino gets an offensive line that blocks for him, what they did for Aikman, he breaks more records. He was that good. That's why people hold him in high regard. There's always exceptions to some rules. His ego got in the way. He couldn't stand Jimmy Johnson, and that's what happened. Because his team wasn't good. On the whole, you got to have the team. Same. Because Elway and Marino were like 1 and 1A back in the day. And I can't say he'd have done any more. Elway got the running game. That's the thing. He won with Terrell Davis. So there you go. And the way I look at it with Marino, he always dropped the game or so in the playoffs. But again, that's a even Steven there. The Aikman one is interesting only because Marino is more talented. So the first Super Bowl against the Giants, they played their brand of football, but the Giants ate up the clock, forced them into a half brand of football. So when he missed the field goal, it was that close. So no, I can answer it. I ain't got no problem talking about it. The second Super Bowl was the worst of all four. Because even though Washington was the least talented team we played, they beat the Bills up, beat them up. That was the worst one. Because you look at the score and say 13 points. Now Washington got physical with the Bills, beat them up. The Dallas one, the first one was just turnovers and it just got out of hand. They were kind of in the game, but they got blew out. And then the last one was turnovers. So the second one was the worst one. The first one was a woulda, coulda, shoulda. And you're always going to kind of wonder about that one if you're a Bills fan. Against Dallas, turned the ball over. Cowboys got on a roll, and that was it. So the NFC was better, and the Bills weren't as good as they thought they were. No, I can handle it, Jay Will. I can handle it. I'm not one of those kind of fans of team that I can't, but that's how I looked at it. And the NFC was better too. It was better over there. So let me see what this last one says. Do you think Buffalo will get okay? NFC's best of it covers on it. Yeah, but that's because all the turnovers in that game. It wasn't that Buffalo wasn't in the game. The balls was being turned over. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Washington beat the Bills up physically from the giddy up. That's the difference. You looking at the totality, that's because of the turnovers. I'm telling you. I don't know about that. You got the Giants in your division. You got Dallas. And you got Washington and Philly. What else you got? The best division is the NFC North. And nobody's sweating the East. That's funny. Do you think Buffalo will get over the hump and make the Super? I don't know. I like to think so. I don't know. because they have to have the right personnel. They have to have the right balance of ego. I don't know. And I don't think this coach is the one that can get it done. That's not why teams lost. We're gonna sit here and talk about Houston was not going to be Kansas City. So other people start talking about bad calls, act like the team was going to win something. Did you see Houston being a team that was going to win? I didn't. Buffalo losing to Kansas City had nothing to do with the refs. You don't convert a fourth down play with a ball hits you in your hand, you drop it. Do you be on their they get you offense or no? He ain't gonna fall back. The only time he gonna fall back is when it's time to fall back. I don't look at calls as determined. First of all, if you worry about calls, you better do what Philly did. Philly showed you what you do with calls. That's fine. So mm, yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Ain't cheated in no game. I watched the game. There wasn't no cheat. No, you can debate that fourth down play, but let's take that fourth down play out the way. That drive, Buffalo never stopped the ground attack. They shouldn't have even beaten Baltimore. I ain't cheat. That's not about Buffalo. Buffalo had 3.5 minutes. Drop ball last year. Drop ball this year. Lose both games by three. Lose one game at home, one game on the road. How am I going to sit around and blame the rep? No, you got to do what Philadelphia did. You beat them up. You don't let it come down to the refs. Beat it up. Yeah. Take Mahomes off the field in that prime. I don't think he could do it because Philadelphia ran a four-man front. Okay, that's cool. Let me tell you something. If you watch the game against the Giants, it was the same type of situation. The reason why I was thinking this game was rigged is because now Philadelphia is always going to be the underdog, like a Rocky Balboa against the favorite out the AFC. Have you not noticed that? Because they beat New England when New England was looking to go, and then they come up with this one. Ain't it always convenient that Philly's always a team that's Rocky Balboa against the underdog, even though they took a blueprint from the Giants and ran the four-man bop on front. So I like Jonathan Taylor, but I ain't forget about that fumble this year. That was embarrassing. Got by the goal line and dropped the ball. They probably beat Denver. That was embarrassing. They were just reckless. They were self-destructive talking about the Colts. So, but yeah, I like number 10. I like that cat. Rookie, he can play. He got wheels. He did pretty good in the Super Bowl, even though it was garbage time. He did pretty good. Brady doesn't make the game closer. Because see, first of all, with Brady, you got to be able to run. Oh, that's cool. Congratulations. Yeah, Brady doesn't make it closer. I've seen it before. And what it did in games like that, it got physical, but you got to have a running game. Okay. Well, Quinn Allen, I'll check him out. Okay. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, let's see now. Let's keep some comments coming. I'm gonna be on for another probably like half hour or so. And I'm just rubbing my eyes because I can get some of my eyes. That's all. So if I start saying something, all right. If anybody got any more questions, let's keep it rolling. We got the poll going. We're doing good. So we got required again. Okay. If nobody's coming through, I'll probably call in about a few minutes. We're gonna give it a couple more minutes. We'll see. Had a real good report tonight, though. It's been real cool. Yeah. Okay. None. None. He ain't going to no contender. He probably go to Tennessee or he'll go to like I mean, it's over. It's a waste of time and energy. It's over. Can't bring him back. What you saw is what you saw. And you won't be happy until he has another butt sack like he did 2 years ago, then he's out again. It's done. No contender will. None. They want him to be traded to the there's some hyperbole where he gets traded to the Rams or something. That's not gonna work. Yeah, I think I heard you mention it. LaQuint Allen. I'll check him out. It's not gonna work. He's not that good. Yeah, and it except the difference is that Favre actually had some life though. Can't see it happening for Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, it can be like that, but the difference is that Brett Favre has something in the tank. I don't see nothing with Aaron Rodgers in the tank. At least when Brett Favre with Minnesota, they had to have that dirty, illegal Greg Williams is hitting the legs. There's nothing with Aaron Rodgers. I have not seen anything in the last 3 years that tells me that Aaron Rodgers is gonna go somewhere else and morph into something more than just an overwashed quarterback. We can't even stat pad. He wanted to make a gymnasium or something and he used the funds illegally. So, but they didn't give him a pass though. So Aaron is done. Thank you. Anybody who's been watching knows he's done. After that NFC Championship game against Tampa Bay, and he didn't dive. His over. Thank you for coming through, Troy. Appreciate you, and I hope to see you again soon. I might come back tomorrow, so be on the lookout. It'll be a little bit earlier. Come on before NBA All Star Weekend. So appreciate everybody coming through and conversation and real talk. All right. Appreciate that, Troy. And if you're still around, Jay, will give me a sign. If you're not, I'm gonna call it a day in just a second. So see what I got. All right. I think I'll call it a day in just a second. Had some great conversations today, and the polls was very lively. Appreciate when they came through. And again, if you want to watch this live one again, I have it's gonna be on my podcast. So keep it out. I leave everything on. I don't do no edits for better or for worse though. But 62% said no, they're not watching All-Star games. So that was quite the flip. Not surprised about that. It's a tough sale today. It's always tough to get into. So anyway, it's catching up to me. I had to get up early today. All right. I think we're gonna call it a day. A couple minutes. So appreciate everyone coming through. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. And if you want the live streams, do request it for me. Stay in touch with me. Let me know. Because that way we can make it happen. Appreciate everybody. Thank you as always. Peace. I'm out.